Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price and CEO of .edu, and we're diving into a fascinating and honestly mind-twisting paper by Rajiv Singh, who's a philosopher and independent researcher. So we're definitely not science as usual here. Just as a little note before my job is to the ideas in this paper, Orly. I'm endorsing any particular argument or position. I just want you to get exposed to the ideas, then take from them what you will. So what's the big question Rajiv Singh is after? Well, he's zooming in on a classic urgent problem. As artificial intelligence develops, ThinkGPT, DeepMind, and the rest, does this mean for our of intelligence, consciousness, even wise? Is AI just crunching numbers? Or could it someday actually know or feel something? And how does human intelligence stay unique in a world where machines might outthink us in all sorts of ways? These aren't just abstract questions shaped from how we use technology to how we think about ourselves. So Singh starts stepping away from the idea that intelligence is only biological, or that it's just something humans have, computers don't. He argues that intelligence is actually about information and how it's organized, not about neurons and brains alone. The real kicker is exploring whether, or even consciousness, could arise in different substrates, meaning different physical forms. It's wild, right? So your brain, a computer, maybe even a whole Internet of Things network, if they structured right, could they all have, or even consciousness? Singh argues this is a live question now. He's pretty deep into recursion and modeling. The idea that a mind isn't just thinking about stuff, it's thinking about itself thinking about stuff. It's like when you notice you're daying, or you analyze your own. Singh claims that this recursive self-modeling is the ingredient for consciousness, and, more interestingly, it isn't necessarily limited to biological beings. That's the sort of thing that probably kept me at night after the paper for first time. So what's special about humans then? Should we be scared? Singh says humans aren't just data processors. We're embedded in our, shaped by meaning, emotions, cultural traditions, legacies, existential questions, you name it. Human cognition, according to thee, is distinguished by things like embodiment and emotional valuation, qualities machines just don't have yet, maybe never will, at least as far as can tell. One super interesting part is Singh's argument about how knowledge and wisdom come apart, is at storing and connecting information, but turning that into wisdom, like making ethical decisions or understanding why something matters, seems to be a uniquely human frontier. For now, who knows, right? Let's talk briefly about the methods and arguments, just clarity. Singh synthesizes lots of sources: philosophy of mind, neuroscience, cognitive science, and up-to-date readings of what's up in research. He's different of consciousness, like the integrated information idea, which gets super technical, and predictive processing models, where brains, or maybe even machines, act as sophisticated prediction engines, but he doesn't pick a winner among the theories. Instead, he says probably sits along a spectrum, a little consciousness, lot there, but rarely, if ever, all or nothing, kind of like how water moves smoothly from to hot, instead just flipping from ice to boiling. This is, of course, a framework. Again, this is his absolute truth, and I'm on the fence myself. Another thread in the paper is the idea that AI isn't to stage A, as much as it's becoming part of a cognitive ecosystem. Human intelligence and artificial intelligence work best together. We shape AI, but also shapes us. The idea isn't AI versus humans, but more with humans. That's a frame I honestly find refreshing, and I'd love to hear if you feel the same, or if you're more skeptical. And digression time. Sometimes I wonder if, like, the emotional layer Singh talks about, when you see your dog do something clever or odd, that like A-grade consciousness, just a really good feedback mechanism. It's wild to think about, but probably not terribly relevant. AI, except, maybe it is. Sorry, that's me going off on a tangent, but it's part of thinking through this stuff right. Coming back to Singh's conclusion, the major takeaway is that philosophy, far from eclipsed by science and technology, is actually more important now than ever. It's the thing that helps us steer, ask the hard questions, and maybe nudge knowledge toward wisdom. And if there's one thing for listeners to take away, I think it's that academic research, this doesn't deliver final answers. It gives us frameworks, language, and perspectives to reflect, reconsider, and maybe change the way act in the world. That's it for today's deep dive. If you've got thoughts or questions, or you just want to vent about AI philosophy, or heck the meaning of life, you know where to find me. Until next time on In Depth with Academia, keep thinking, keep questioning, and don't accept anything as the final word. Not even this podcast. See you soon.